Line 6 M5. It's a really good pedal. It's probably one of my most used ones. It's, a stomp box. It's got a ton of pedals. It's like 100 of them. And then you can save presets for 20 or 24, something like that. It's a really amazing pedal, especially for how much it costs. Apart from one thing, the switches are dog shit. So this thing uses micro switches, which aren't exactly meant to be stepped on, which, it's fine. There's a lot of things that aren't meant to do a certain task, but, it'll work. But not when you're stepping on it repeatedly, like a tap tempo switch. Hi, Editing Amy here. I'm a fucking dumbass, especially when the camera is on. And I completely forgot to mention why, in this case, the micro switches are bad. They're bad because they broke. And that is a very common complaint in these pedals. These switches just fail all the time. So, yeah, back to the video. So yeah, I'm going to be replacing the shitty micro switches in here with these switches. That was way easier than the first time I did it. I didn't even have to pry it open with a screwdriver, the marks of which you can see here. Okay, so the guts of it are now loose. And what I need to do, there's these two connectors. I've already opened this up before, but there used to be hot glue holding them together. Already took that off. So that now my job is slightly easier. I just need to probably do it with a screwdriver. These flathead screwdrivers are really, like these tiny ones, are really useful to pry stuff. Sometimes you can even drive screws with it, which is crazy. But it's mostly just to pry small stuff open. It's their main purpose. So yeah, that's a board. Taken all of its beauty, because we're not going to be doing anything with it. Then you have this other board which has the screen, the knobs, all of that stuff, and this stupid thing. This board is literally just a pair of micro switches and a pair of LEDs. This much PCB. I do not understand why they did it this way, because I doubt that it's even cheaper than just, I don't know, running some wires and then hot gluing the LEDs or something, which is what I'm gonna do. It's probably takes more time to actually put it together. I don't know. That's not right. So this is... That's fucking... I mean, I guess it kind of works. So now it should be slightly, and I do mean slightly, easier to get rid of this PCB. And I say slightly because these clips are still a pain in the ass. Especially when they're doused in hot glue, but there we go. You also want to keep these, because that's where the LEDs shine through. We might have to cut these legs off. We probably will have to cut these legs off, but that's a problem for me in like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 3 hours. I don't know how long is this going to take me. So we have our PCB full of components here. As you can see, we have a whole bunch of LEDs, and by a whole bunch I do mean 2, and then another 2 micro switches. This is truly staggering stuff. Definitely warrants a PCB this big. I don't really get why they did it this way. I guess they were already making PCBs for the rest of the pedal, so I don't know. Sure, just add another one in there with 4 components, and yet it's fucking huge. So yeah, now we have our fucking, the knob and screen board and this stupid thing. And what you're gonna want to do is very gently and precisely just cut that shit off. So each one of these wires does one thing, and now you just gotta wire them into the switches, which I need to check how. Okay, so we have the switch common, the negative tap LED, the tap switch, then the bypass LED is this one, the bypass switch, and the red one is the LED positive. I think it's probably a good idea to just mount the switches onto the pedal casing itself. So these buttons are held in with these, it's these clips. They have a name. They're all over like really old hi-fi stuff. Split rings? No, fuck. Snap rings. Yeah, this is just held in with a snap ring, and you can get that off somehow. Just want to get those off on both the switches, and you get a nice big spring for free. You can, I don't know, do whatever it is you can do with a spring. That one was way easier, come on. Maybe because I got the technique down and I also bent it, but it doesn't matter because I'm not reusing it. So now we're faced with the tricky issue that this doesn't fit through here. It's way bigger, it doesn't fit. So you're going to want to grab in my case, a 12mm drill bit, which I don't have. So I'm just gonna have a lot of fun with this one. The metal drill bit, by the way. It's a pretty important part. You guys like my limited edition Lidl Colors Parkside drill? I fucking love this thing. It's just so goofy looking. Okay, it's been like a bit, and I got the holes enlarged enough for the switches to fit through. Now we can do the actual switch wiring. To solder the wires to the wires on the board, I'm going to be using this heat shrink tubing, which has a little bit of solder in the middle, which makes this way easier. Lighter's out of gas. This is the only other lighter I have. It's either this or a match. This isn't a good lighter to do this with. Ow. So now I'm just gonna desolder the LEDs. Okay, so that was a very bad joint. Not the weed kind. And I never want to do that again. But you know what the issue is? I'm gonna have to do that 3 more times. Actually managed to do it decently this time. Oh, I actually fucked up. Yeah, I forgot. I need to get the LED positive to the other LED as well. And now I could undo that, which I don't want to. Or I could just grab it from here again. That doesn't seem like a very smart idea, but you know, YOLO, as the kids say, or said 10 years ago. Ah, fuck. Ah, that hurt. Why did I do that? Why did I grab it like that? I'm stupid. Alright, that took a little while, but the LEDs are soldered in place. Now it's just the switches, which is going to be significantly easier, I say, even though I know that I'm going to struggle just as much. Both of those hit my lamp. I was about to give up looking for this screw, and I just looked at the floor, and it was right there. I am really fucking tired, by the way. I've been at this for literally like 2.5 hours, and it's embarrassing that it's taking me this long. And the funny part is that it's only taking me this long because I am incapable of being organized. So I spend 15 minutes looking for something and then 2 minutes doing it. Or using it or whatever. So what I need to do now is wire one of the contacts of this switch to one of the contacts of that switch. So I put the board in place. They already have a wire. The switches already have a wire going between them. Now I just need to connect the common ground, and this one is the tap tempo. This one is the bypass. It's backwards. Fuck. This one is the tap tempo. This one's the bypass. All right. So everything's wired up. It looks like shit. It's a big mess. However, it should work. Before I put it back together, though, I better make sure it does. The LEDs are working. And that switch works. All right. I did it. It works. I don't have a hot glue gun for some reason, but I do have this thing, which is a hot glue gun, but like animated and shit. Okay, so this isn't going back together. It's snagging on all of the wires and shit. So I just need a very, very high-tech solution for this. Perfect. What's happening right now is that this switch, well, actually the opposite thing, is that this chip that I assume it's like a clock or something. It looks like a very big clock crystal, but it's, you know, I don't know what this chip is or what it does, but it's running into one of the switches. And if I try the other way around, it bumps into this big capacitor right here. Hopefully if I tilt it, it'll be out of place enough. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to flip it around or something. Ow! Don't keep the hot glue gun under your arm, dumbass. Okay, so the tap tempo is not that visible, but it's just about good enough for it to not matter. For it to not be worth it to take this apart and mess with it again. I pretty much never use any effects that have a tap tempo on this pedal, so it should be fine. I actually bought 3 switches, and I wanted to put one right here to go into the preset selector, into this menu, which you have to press both of them. But I think that requires diodes, and I thought I had them. I don't, so I guess to wait for the next video. It won't be the next one, but maybe I might make that mod at some later point. Who knows? Yeah, let's finish putting this back together. it feels nice for this to actually work. So yeah, thanks for watching. I actually did this week because, well, mostly because I've been putting it off for, actually since that video where I was unboxing the stuff. That's when these switches came. And have been putting this off since then because I knew that it would take me 3 hours and that I would be very annoyed by the end of it. And both of those things are true. But I was actually hoping that this week I'd have something different because I have a cool thing in the mail, but it hasn't arrived yet. It should arrive next week, hopefully. So expect a video on a really cool thing next week. So yeah, that's it. Bye.